It's like when I had a baby.
That's right. Real estate's your baby now.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a lot, but that's okay. So I got this from advisors. So it was the cheat sheet. I almost never used it. Yeah, there's like 5.
She's in
I
school.
know, I was totally expecting a ton of math, so I studied that. Like,
Yeah.
and then I didn't.
And then
Did you say yeah, no? I heard the math is, there's more math now.
I just took it a couple months ago and there was only 5.
I had about 3 to 5 questions.
Yeah, I think that's what I had like 8 years, 9 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah. I thought it was
Heavily.
Oh.
And it was kind of narrowed down to 2. So that's what they told me. They're like, narrow it down to 2. One's always going to be ridiculous and wrong. One's always going to be you just kind of know. And then you're down to 2 and then you decide.
Yeah.
For math, but these are my notes that I wrote, so you can look through those.
Do I get this clicker works, right? If I
Yeah,
want to switch
this
the
is what I
screen?
got.
Sorry.
I just need a refresher.
You can plug it in.
But this is like they have.
You can always just do this if it's easy. So you won't be able to use the mouse though.
This is what they gave. This is just mouse.
But you should.
So now,
Does it say? Oh, it's just recording. It's not
I know they
live.
It's
It's live on. It's live, but I don't know if anybody's watching.
Hi, if anybody's watching.
But it'll be
And
like
then this
posted
was
on
another one, but I
YouTube.
didn't practice this one.
So it's like live, like not live.
Okay.
Perfect.
Taking it, so you
Yeah, you just
know.
kind of go
But
through.
these might be, this, I know this is the state of the.
Feels so official.
And
Thank
then
you, Jenna.
This is.
And then so you should always set ready to go if you need anything.
And then, because they do ask.
Thank you.
for this. They do.
Yeah.
Feel free to use the whiteboard.
And then these.
Right?
all are things that I printed from my course and then I made notes on, and this is what actually I studied and highlighted. So knock yourself out.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm gonna make copies of all.
Well, you can take it, because it's like, 200 pages.
Yeah.
Take it, just give it back to me.
I will.
But someday.
I definitely will.
I'm
Are you
like,
gonna be doing these classes?
every day, except for, to move my college. On the 19th, so, not that day. Just to UC, but I'm already like.
Your oldest?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's the hardest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like try to float around the room, have some fun. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course, yes.
I am Sarah Brooks, been with Keller Williams most of my real estate career. And I think I was one of the early adopters of Seven Hills. So it's been really fun seeing the office grow and change. So when you're on the ALC, Agent Leadership Council, you're in the top 20% of the office. That's just a volume thing. They ask you if you want to be on the ALC, and a lot of times the ALC teachers ignite. So you'll see a lot of the top producers that are teaching the classes. So always feel free to connect with people that are teaching the classes. Like I'll leave some of my business cards out. I feel like so many times people are like, I don't know who to ask questions to, right? But maybe as you're in these classes, you're gonna start realizing that you connect with someone and you think that they're kind of like a person that you feel comfortable talking to, right? So, my pleasure. And how are you? Great. What is your name? Hi, Brandon. Are you excited to be part of the greatest industry in the world? I love it. Okay. I really have only had like 1.5 coffees, so this is just me. And I'm staffy. Don't tell them what's on my coffee cup. All right. So other than real estate, I am an Aussie mama. I have 2 dogs, a cat, and a husband. In that order. But basically, I love real estate. This isn't part of the class, but I just like to let you know I used to be in the hospitality business, so I've been in sales. I was the boutique manager, kind of done all the things. So that's me before real estate, and I have a that helped it, so teaching. So here I am. All right. Hi, good morning. If I'm a little much, just get ready. My gosh, I got my energy today. Ooh, let's go. I'm Sarah Brooks. What's your name? William Nettle. I think I have seen you or met you. What's your name? Lovely. I'm Peyton. Peyton, hello. Nice to meet you. And I'm Kendall Stoles. Kendall Stoles. Fabulous. Brandon, Kendall, Peyton, and Nettle. Sarah. Mr. Nettle, right? For that, Sarah. That's right. Okay, so I'm a talker. Surprise. I'm really gonna try to stick with this timing, so I can set myself an alarm, like half time, like. And I have to be somewhere at 11:30. So I don't. So we're gonna value each other's time today. We're gonna be here till 11, and let me see if I have one more business card. I got to reorder some, and I was just saying, Mr. Nettle, to the rest of the class, that, oh, well, you're just gonna have to say mine. I would like to give out my card in case, you're not sure who to talk to, ask questions. Obviously, there's like a plethora of people that can always help you, but it never seems to fail me that at like 10 o'clock on a Friday night, you're like, how do I write a contract? I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you asking 10 o'clock on a Friday night? We love you. So try not to be that agent, right? Like have practice run writing a contract and like feel it out. Find somebody that you could just like gel with. So have y'all made it to all the sessions so far? Susan and Jennifer and then me. Cool. They're fabulous ladies, so I'm super excited to follow on their heels here. Good morning.
Morning, sorry.
You're okay. I have somewhere to be today, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. It's great. It's appointment. All right, so we're going to connect with our market. And this is going to go over, obviously you've seen this before, but I'm going to give you time to speak. Who's good at that? All right, so don't call people you're not supposed to call. Practice business practices and all that good stuff. We are being recorded for the YouTube channel, so don't tell something about your life if you don't want somebody to hear it. It's going to be public. We're going to connect with the market. You start your career, you're embracing your job. Today, we're connecting with the market. And then next, you're going to find your value. So these are becoming the real estate expert of choice. And on the agenda today, we're going to know our market. So we're going to start with that. So here's the truth. If it has been done in another market, it can be done in your market. Once it has been done, no matter where it is, it's just a matter of finding out how that can be possible in your world. Who said that? Gary Keller. GK, and man, it's supposed to be like following a script or something. So Gary Keller, one of the creators of Keller Williams, brilliant man. What are they telling me I should be saying now? All right, good. I said that. All right, so we're also going through. Okay. We're going to cover the connecting your market. We're going to go over different factors of research, and that's going to consider to be prepared before meeting with clients. It's a path to becoming a real estate expert of choice. Just a fun fact, I was telling some of y'all, in the past, I was in the hospitality industry, actually with Jeffrey. So in that company, we said that it's an experience. So my brand is Living GC Experience, the real estate experience. So becoming the real estate agent of choice is because they're going to have a great experience. If they wanted to shop for real estate, they just go on Zillow. But if they want experience, they're going to come to me and my husband. He's for some of this. So before we begin, let's hear about your progress with the success system from yesterday. So we have a success system with your contacts and how many people you input into your database and stuff like that. Have you been getting the groove on that? Have you been able to make some contacts? I know that's always the fun part of real estate.
I made in contact with a landlord. I took a friend to go see his place, coffee, and fortunately she can't rent it, but I stayed in contact with him and he was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. And you're a realtor. Yeah. So he stayed in contact with me. He's an investor. So sweet. And then a local businesswoman in my neighborhood out there, very my newsletter.
That's good. You have juicy stuff going. I like it. Okay, anybody else want to share? Any contact?
I've been working for the past 2 weeks. I'm just calling my contacts on my phone. But I'm trying to find more ways to break in the community, whether it's like trying to pitch something at the gym or get into a runners club or a bike club.
Networking a little more,
Yeah.
meet new people.
Trying to find ways to meet new people, new contacts. So
Right, just like
don't-
we're I'm like that. I don't like to just call and call. I like to interact with people, obviously, my past experience. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. How are you gonna be able to connect with your market and you find your ideal clients, people that like, know, and trust you. And maybe they don't know you yet, but then they're gonna get to know you and like just get to talk to you about, tennis or basketball or baking or whatever it is. And then eventually everybody talks about real estate because it was on the news this morning, 10-month low and mortgage rates. So people are always gonna want to talk about real estate. You say, what do you do? I always say, what do you do to make money? Like, what do you do for a living? Sounds so generic. What do you do to make money? And then they're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a real estate agent. And they're like, oh, what about the market? And then you can't get them to stop. Okay. Thank you for sharing. And what's your name again?
I'm Chase.
You're Chase. Okay, cool. You're outside. All right. And let's see. All right. So if your birthday falls in, let's say, January to March, raise your hand. Oh, we already did that. So you guys can't follow this correct. Okay. So the rest of the agenda today, we're also going to go over build your expertise, utilize your resources, which you guys, Keller Williams has a lot of resources. You just got to know where to find them. So we're going to go over some of those. We're going to do a recap, I'll pause, and then we're going to go over the daily success system one more time. Knowing your numbers is so huge in real estate. You're your own boss. So if you're not tracking your numbers, who's going to know what you're doing and how you're doing it? And once you've been doing it for a while, you're going to realize what activities work best for you. Whether you're sitting at a coffee shop or you start some kind of a pickleball league or whatever it is, you're going to know what your jam is. And open houses, door knocking, could be anything. So you got to know what's working for you, where you're getting business from that's actually converting. Converting business would mean actually selling property, making that go. All right.
So we were talking about yesterday, right? Going from phone call to appointment to contract.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so a few minutes on that. We went over what GK said. And then, so becoming a real estate expert is all about knowing your market and connecting with that market in unique and consistent ways. So generally speaking, you can know market factors on a macro level and a micro level. At a macro level, you'll know what's going on in the city or metro area with it. On a micro level, you're going to hone in on specific facts about neighborhoods or certain parts of town where you're going to be focusing your effort. Furthermore, they're going to probably say this is called a farm. You're farming. So I live in a subdivision, so it's very easy for me to call that my farm. Like that's just where I live. And we had a listing appointment yesterday, and we sold the house next door. And we just went over and sat down and talked with him. And I said, well, we always bring this over and have all the things. I know we're not signing today. We already talked about that. But we just want to show you value. And he was like, oh man, there's nobody else I would work with. He's like, you guys are so involved in our neighborhood. Like they just know, right? So you'll have some communities like that where people are going to, we call it a setup to come listen to me. They complain and talk to somebody else. I already know you, like you, trust, me. It'll happen. So, we're gonna cover the different types of markets today. Important numbers in real estate agents should know about their own market, and then how to interpret those numbers and understand your client needs. Okay, so in the participant guide, it'll say identify the characteristics of your market. If you guys could fill out this activity, and then you guys have that, she can tell you guys how to find her. Yeah. And how come some of you have a binder and some don't? I'm figuring right now. You have to buy it. You have to buy it. Okay. Well, I will print some out for my headphone. I will be teaching another class at the end. So if you like me, come to it. If you don't, don't. The last one I'm doing is called get to the place. Make the dough. All right. So I don't know if you have already filled that out, or like if you guys want to buddy up. Who all has the book? I do. You have the book. Do you want to just talk about it maybe and share with everyone?
So like, what, identify the characteristics of my market.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, I mean, you can't do that, I don't do it. I didn't fill it out yet, but I did get a fabulous email from Jenna with my monthly neighborhood numbers. Which I thought was like fabulous. So I live in Norwood, so.
Okay, so we can do yours as an example and share our class.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So the first question.
What's inventory in my market?
Norwood is her market, it's her
Norwood is-
jam.
So properties for sale are 10.
All right.
So that's my market. That's how many are for sale.
That's not a lot in Norwood.
It's not, Norwood's kind of, I don't know if it's slowed down, but a lot is already flipped and sold.
Yep.
So now they're.
August is the slowest, one of the slowest months of January.
Well, in Norwood, so the people are either not moving or they already, it's already kind of turned.
She knows her market.
What's the average number of days on market? The home stays on market? Well, according to this, average is 36, which is up by 2, which I can't believe it's not more, just from driving around the neighborhood. Because I constantly am seeing the same properties, split signs that are on the market for 90 days, 120 days. And some I'm like,
So what's your tactic? Do you drive by? Do you just kind of like to go through the areas that you want to work in and look at signs, or do you more like look it up and then go find it?
well, I'm a brand new agent, but we've invested in real estate. That's why it's in my
Real house?
So we've lived there for a long time, so we drive by, we walk, I just kind of know. I just know the places. And yes, I'll go anywhere the first if I want to, but I will be marketing to a very centralized area. So, what is the average price on a home in my neighborhood? Average is $337.
That's not right.
Was the average listed price, sorry. Average price was $205.
Average sales price.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. Average sale price is, yeah, that is it. Average listed price, doesn't give you the average sales price. Yeah, that sounds about right.
To be determined.
I would say 337 sounds.
There's a lot of duplexes forward too.
Well, there's a lot of houses that get rehabbed and they're big and no one can afford openings, so they come to Norwood for a bigger house, and then my husband just were like, 100,000.
What was that again?
We're like, remember that house? Fall apart. But
You're like, how did it sell for
500,000. And then we're like, sweet, we got rid of this thing. Based on inventory, what type of market are we in?
That's a tough one. Yes,
That's a tough
do
one.
math.
I don't know how to do that math.
6 months is a balanced market, and then it's absorption rate. Actually, here, and this teaches a really great class about that, and Jean says, maybe we can break it down so we can pull out like their farm and their area, and kind of do the math and figure that out.
It does say properties for sale is 10 and properties pending is 5. So that's,
I mean, it's probably pretty balanced. at this point?
I would say. Current average mortgage interest rates, well, you said it dropped. I don't know.
They're saying 6.5. I didn't like look it up, but, has anybody yet partnered with a lender or anything while we're talking about that? That's part of the talk too. Kind of getting some affiliates. We have a great list of affiliates here. I honestly would just call them. They want to hear from you. And, if you need a list, I think they're printouts by your mailboxes. And then you can just grab that and introduce yourself as a new agent, and maybe they'll be like, yeah, let's get a coffee, let's get lunch, let's talk. Or I'm teaching a class this day, make sure you're there. So yeah, I would definitely connect with some affiliates. It's great homework to kind of pick someone's brain. Was there one more question at the end?
There's two, what's the unemployment rate in my market? I mean, that just went, who knows what it really is, but it's.
That's always a great other question, because they have meetings every week to talk about what that.
Yep, and that follows, I mean, real estate follows, unemployment rates as opposed to mortgage or interest rates. And then growth rate of your community. I mean, Norwood is exploding, they're building a lot. They're doubling Factory 52 basically, and then they're doing a whole nother thing over by Xavier, the Boston Way Trail. So
Yeah.
all the either condos or apartments, whatever.
So as she's talking about this and where you live, can you start getting to know your area and knowing how that would be important when you're just, having an elevator pitch with somebody? That's what we call it, in the restaurant, sugar, stick, or spiel. And you're just gonna have some fun facts. Well, did you know Factory 2, what is it called? Factory 52. 52. If you know it's expanding, they already have this, now they're expanding this, they're bringing a dog park. Know some stuff about your market, so it makes you an expert, and, just stay on top of like what's going on. Real estate is so fun. If you're not having fun yet, but get with it. Hey, Mary! Love you. Haven't seen you forever. All right, so 3 types of market. It asks her what is her market. Buyer's market, more than 7 months of inventory. Balanced market, from 5 to 7 months of inventory. The seller's market is less than 5 months of inventory. So those are our options. You can say it's easy. Even I know I'm big in more northern Kentucky, but we have the ability to just look up markets and it'll just tell us what the market is right now, and all of it is balanced right now. Overall, you're gonna have your neighborhoods that are still sellers markets, like Tuesday, Oakley, but I'm sure in Oakley it's a lot less than it was 30 years ago. Things are, maybe not as many offers and multiple offers, maybe a little bit more days on market. Yes, ma'am.
So. 7 months, 7 months. There are houses for sale.
No, that's a great question. So there is a way, I honestly don't know how to do it. So you can tell them, say not all things. So you calculate the absorption rate based on like what she was saying, like how many are active, how long it has taken them to sell. It's probably part of the real estate classes if I remember correctly. And you're calculating how long it would take for them to sell. And then that's gonna give you, and how many, that's kind of telling how many buyers there are in the market based on how quickly they're selling and how many are pending and active. And then how long or how many homes there are. So that equation is giving you how many months of inventory. So your months of inventory, the bigger it gets, the more it's a buyer's market because there's more options, right? And then the less options is the seller's market. So like she was saying in Norway, there's 10 available. And I felt like that was low. I think Norway is really big. And just getting past summer. So now it's, slowing down a lot. Maybe it was just 30 last month. Right. So, okay. Good job. Thanks for asking the question, Mary. I love the back and forth. Okay. Guys, these are like silly. I know, right? Okay, so we went over the three types. So basically, the buyer's market, the houses aren't selling extremely rapidly, like we said. So more days on market, more homes for sale than there are interested buyers. That's going to give you an indicator. And then supply of houses is greater than demand. Large inventory of houses puts the buyer at an advantage because they can possibly get a great home for an affordable price. And negotiating things like maybe a washer and dryer, you know, that they couldn't before. Maybe the seller really wanted to take them, but now they really want to sell, so they'll leave them. Maybe now they're willing to pay the buyer's closing costs. So you're gonna have a great lender that you can run. What do we need? What would I had a buyer get money back at closing? $4,000 he got back. Just last week. I had a listing that they wanted to take the washer and dryer, and they left it because it took longer to sell than they needed to sell to move to New York. So anyway, those are just some examples. So do you know which is a better market in your experience? A balanced market, I think, is the better market because it's giving each side that equal opportunity. There's tons of language around how to talk to a buyer in a certain market, and there's great language around sellers, obviously. So where we're at right now, you have a lot of sellers that also need to buy. So yeah, but if they're not in a seller's market, that could be great because they're also going to benefit on the buy side. So it really is situational and dependent on the neighborhood. But becoming the expert, you're going to go into the appointment saying, I know you live in Norwood, but you want to move to Oakley. So this is what's going on in Norwood, and this is what's going on in Oakley. Sometimes if you just have the information, they're more prepared to write stronger offers, to show up quick, to have their financing in order, you know, just being that expert and letting them know. Someone's calling me from. Just like, should I answer? No. They might want to buy and sell grocery carts for but you know, truly, it's very situational, and what I'm finding, being in the business, you know, 9 years, is that a lot of our clients are buying and selling. So they're kind of seeing both sides of the coin right now. And it's not as great when they're selling sometimes. When they're buying, they're like, oh, we were only in 2 offers. You know, I didn't have to give my opinion to get the house that we wanted. So what do you guys think causes a shift in the market? So we've talked about these different markets. What would cause us to shift from one market to another? Some examples there. Okay, yeah. That's right.
Cost of life.
Economic changes. Yeah. How much do diapers cost? How much does milk cost? How much does everything cost? What they're seeing on the news and the media. What do you think about it? We're talking about inflation, interest rates. Well, anybody ever wants to talk about real estate. Construction. Yeah. So good. And maybe there's relocation. January is a great month for relocation in real estate. But like things that are going to cause that shift, yeah, like a massive layoff or something. I know in Florida, a lot of communities, Naples is really struggling because the house prices got up so high, and then they also recently had a hurricane. So like insurance costs, like that's something that can change the market. Good stuff. And then, do you think a shift in the market is something that you can control? No control, right? You can't control tariffs. You can't control. Yeah, like there's what happens in real estate, what you see on the news, they're like 6 months behind you guys. Like Anna McKissick was here talking to us a couple of weeks ago. family was a big adopters for probably the greater Cincinnati area. And she was just brilliant in the way she explained things. And, you know, your clients are seeing things on the news. So it's up to you to be able to also not combat it, that's not the proper word, but to be an advocate for real estate, if real estate agents. You know, when last year, when the lawsuit was happening with NAR, I had to be an advocate for myself and for like my real estate peers and explain what was really going on. And you know, most of my clients didn't care, but they loved knowing that I knew about it and that I was passionate. So, you know, being that expert is going to help you get through any shift, buyer or seller shift. All right. Ooh, so you can always get a market center multi-year trend report also, and that's through Connect Reports, or you can ask your NCA. I know we do go over this at some meetings, but we also go over our trend report at the ALC meeting. We talked about the Agent Leadership Council. We always go over those numbers, and that is open to our office. Anybody can come. You don't have to be on the ALC. And I love when other people come to the meeting because have you ever been to one, Mary? I know you said that. Yeah. So they are open. Whenever you see it on the calendar and it pops up like everyone's invited, you guys get some juicy intel if you come to this stuff.
We repeat, you said market center what?
Your trend report.
Trend report.
Multi-year,
Yeah.
market center, multi-year trend report.
And what meeting?
The ALC.
Just any, okay.
Yep. I'll tell you the next one. Or text me, I'll tell you. It's on the calendar. Do you guys have access to the calendar? Do you have that? All right. So as I mentioned, inventory is the primary factor in determining what kind of market you're in, and inventory can help indicate the health and robustness of the market. So let's talk about the multiple listing service, the MLS, and that's how you're going to determine your inventory. So doing a search of a city, a county, your neighborhood, like that, you're going from macro to micro. And just knowing a couple of those market stats when you're talking to someone is going to make you a market expert, you guys. And sometimes they're going to say, did you see that house on 123 Main Street? And you're going to be like, I did. What did you think about it? The person asking the question is always in control of the conversation. You ask them, what did you think about that house on 123 Main Street? And they're like, well, I just saw it on Zillow, you know, it's been sitting there. What do you think's wrong with it? You're like, actually, I went through that house, right? Like doing tours just because it's in your area so you can see it. And you're like, yeah, I actually went through that open house and there are some foundation structure, you know, things going on, but they have a 10-year warranty on it. And it seemed pretty stable. And if I had a buyer interested, I just tell them that we can get through that during inspections and they can have another structural report prepared for them at that time. And they're like, oh, structural report, I've never heard of that. So you see what I'm saying? Once you start talking about real estate and you're the expert, you're going to stick in people's minds and they're going to remember that you knew what you were talking about on that day. All right, so I'm going to skip over that. And then I got to check the time. All right, cool. Well, we already talked about it. Does anybody get any kind of email every day or weekly that says like markets in a minute or what the current rates are? Are you guys getting this yet?
Like from a lender or from
Usually, yeah. So, Craig Davis, he sends us from everyone in our office. He's part of Keller Mortgage. He's our in-house lender. He does a lot of classes and things too. Like that's what I'm saying. If you guys just reach out, say, put me on my list, you know, they're like, oh, absolutely. I get like 3 from the same company. I'm like, delete. Okay, I'll read that one. So knowing the rates, again, what your clients are seeing on the news news is a lot of doom and gloom. They have to get people like fear mongering and like get people to listen and pay attention. That's what the news is all about. Don't get it started. But you have to know what the facts are and your market, because what they're talking about usually is nationally. And they're not knowing your market. And you know, if you say, "Oh, it's a buyer's market," to people looking in Oakley, your buyer's misinformed, and you're taking them on tours, and they're writing lowball offers. And I know Zillow right now has this chart. Who gets on Zillow ever regularly or two? Anybody? You get on Zillow? They have the option once a listing is active, it will show a buyer what. Do me a favor, look up a house today on Zillow that's active, and it'll say you have an 80% chance of getting your offer, writing 10,000 under list. They're trying to give real estate advice, and it's terrible advice, and your clients are seeing this. They don't understand. They're just using data. That's not real estate. They're just a data company. They're not a real estate company. So you have to be there to advocate for people that you love and you want to be taken care of. All right, let's see. We already went over this. All right. Like I said, make contact with lenders in your area to stay up to date on your market and answer any questions your clients may have on the process. You know, follow these people on social media. They're always posting changes and grant programs. You know, OFA is a big one for down payment assistance in Ohio. There's new regulations, there's new credit scores. Like, you guys need to know a little bit about this instead of, I'll just talk to my lender. Like, that's something I did when I was new, and I wish I would have understood the financing and the math just a little bit more, just to have better conversations and look like that expert from the beginning. We talked about economic factors, and you made a great point, Mary, about the workers entering and exiting the workforce in your market. I'm in Northern Kentucky, and we have Amazon over there. It is huge. Amazon, I bought some gum this morning. I get like bulk gum sent to us. And when I was going to the checkout, I was like, "Do you want to get groceries?" And it's listed on groceries. And sour cream and everything that you would get. Amazon has their own packaging. So for us, like, knowing what's going in, we have a lot of Publix. I was selling Ohio too. Awesome. Do you guys have any Publix coming in? We have a coming in Northern Kentucky. We have one in Union, we have one in Independence, one in Alexandria. They're like every county.
Well, like PG just announced they're laying off 7,000 office positions, so not the factory. So I don't know if that means here in Cincinnati, across all their locations here, but
Like,
I mean, that's 7,000 people.
dig a little deeper and see what, or maybe if someone works at P&G and be like, "Hey, I heard this, I'm sure you work there, what do you know about it?" People love to like dish. Yeah, tell like their scoop on things. People love to get their opinion. That's why I said, "What did you think about what you threw Main Street?"
The towers, I mean, that's a lot of the high level executives, so they'll kind of fight off that. They just announced a new, they just announced a new CEO, so whenever a new CEO comes in, all
Changes the
the fat. But I mean, they're laying off 7,000 people. Most likely it's pretty local to Cincinnati, because you know this, you know, it's just.
There's
Oh,
also
wait,
a
Woods,
factory in around like St. Bernard or
Yeah,
something.
Iredale.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think they announced it on office, but like, not executive level, but, you know, your people that work in, you know, like Woods or out in Mason, like all that.
Kentucky now, that's huge around here, obviously. I have someone transferring from Atlanta, but he's at the factory. St. Bernard.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, but the tariffs probably affect
Yeah.
the fact that because of what they bring in raw supply, they just combine it in different factories.
Yeah. And connecting with your market, I'll be right here. Connecting with your market
understanding of people. What are they going through? Like, so honestly, I listen to podcasts constantly. I was listening to some on the way here, and my mom was a single mom. So like something near and dear to my heart is single women having a home and not being a renter and providing a home and stability for their kids. So like I want to start a charity in honor of my mom being a single mom and helping other single moms. Maybe they get, a gift of closing costs. Maybe I do a commission reduction. Maybe they get a free home warranty from me, but it's because of money that I collected from donations, from events and clients and stuff. Yeah. Here. Don't tell me. Oh, E&G, IDL.
I did.
Probably has no relevance, but
A lot of people. I grew up just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
on the presidential.
and I think that I really.
Yeah. Change the community, yes, so it's called Ivory Dale. Well, I mean, it's kind of, it's the historic because, Cincinnati used to be Port Angeles. Or whatever class, like Ivordale was, so that's what built. Yeah. Yeah, I know way too much information about that. Oh, no reason. We always turn on, like all of those, like, businesses that made America and stuff, and they have like the soap, like, after they weren't able to make, handles weren't working out or something, and then they started making soap instead. Yeah, I should watch it again. Ivory was the first soap that floated. Yeah, that's right, because they all kept thinking. That was the thing, it just, that's how they made their billions. So good. Adversity. That's right. All right, so we can move on from this one, I feel like. So this was good. I talked a little bit about like Publix and knowing what's going on, nearby health facilities. I've had a lot of clients, especially when people are moving from out of town, they don't understand how our cities are laid out, and you could be 10 minutes to a hospital pretty much anywhere unless you're outside 275. If you're in like Bethel or further out, even Hamilton, that's like their own little mini city. So just knowing some of this stuff is super important. Your neighborhood attractions, I always love that because you get to be like the tour guide. And this is a big question we ask during our buyer intakes and when we're consulting with buyers. What do you like to do for fun? And if they say, I love going canoeing. I love hiking. I love donuts in the morning. You just gotta know where a couple of these places are and ask them, well, where do you like to go to get donuts in the morning? Like, did you know there's also a Holtman's in Goshen? And like just little things, obviously you're not just gonna splat that out if they're looking at Burlington, Kentucky, but like an hour away. But knowing some of these neighborhood attractions and like things that there are to do, is gonna really just let people know that you're that local market expert. And I know furthermore, we're gonna talk about social media a little bit. Posting things organically from you, don't just share from the company, don't just share directly from like Cincinnati Reds. Make a post about it and say, did you know that Bark in the Park is August 15th coming up? Would you dare take your dog to Bark in the Park? Post a picture of your dog and comments, like relating to people. Okay, ahas. Video ahas? There has one?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in the restaurant business, we called it our stick, so you had like a bottle of wine that you would recommend, like this is the same thing about like restaurants or anything, like, oh, I went to that new steakhouse down in town, and, you know, like just being able to talk to people and let them know, like, it's the word from someone like, oh, did you hear about this and that? Like, oh, yeah, totally. And I'm not telling you to spend your paycheck eating everywhere and doing all the things, but just know a little bit, right? Be relatable. And that's how you get into conversation with people and they can relate with you and see that they can work with you. Okay? Like on my street, a lot of the women have kids, but I don't, their dogs come over and play in our backyard. We call it happy hour on Fridays, as long as it's like 75 degrees-ish, because our dogs have no coat. They're getting wild. So what are some other ahas, like knowing your market, anything like, did you learn something?
Well, I would say, so I just had a friend literally just text me saying, hey, do you know any grants out there right now for home buying? And so your whole point of knowing some lenders, I mean, I know some lenders, like the lender that I bought my house with, but
Yeah.
and I just have the friends that are lenders.
Yeah.
And they don't take you much. And they will, but you need to know them because like.
Have them take you to a new spot so you can say you went there.
Yeah.
See, kill two birds with one stone.
Take a picture together.
That's right.
Get on
Post it on social media.
Yeah, it's a triple, but I'm like, yeah, I totally do. And I'm like, I'm gonna get with you just a little bit. But
So good.
I'm just gonna email, you know, my friend Ann, who's the broker,
Yes.
and be like, hey, my friend, you know, wants to do a Ohio bring us, like, the 411.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know.
Give me a 411 now.
Yeah, I'll be in that email chain too, but I don't know what they are. but
Exactly.
I know who does know who they are.
That's awesome that she came to you instead of Google based, Facebook.
Yeah.
I love that.
I get to know your numbers. And I would say definitely the area. You cannot go everywhere.
Yeah. You guys,
Your niche of where you want to
so
go.
good when we have listings in our neighborhood. We get to walk by and they take a picture of us in front of our listing. We get to like leave 5 minutes. Well, we get to our house with like 30, 40 minutes before, but we get to like, it takes 5 minutes to get anywhere. Our neighborhood is so good. And then everyone sees your signs and then see it cool. And they're like, oh, I just saw your listing. And it's just so fun. It's to keep it hyper local. What were you gonna say?
Well, I just have a question more than so you use the MLS to identify your market and market's behavior. Like the email that you got from Jenna.
Yeah.
How does she know your neighborhood? Is that because you're in command? Okay.
So
She was,
we
And
were
then
just
all
talking
the
about
things
it.
that
I
you rattled off was in the email.
I don't know if she just sent it to me because we live by each other. Yeah. And she was like, oh, I might want this. I saw it on Cross, or if it's something that it's auto generated by.
so you probably
Like,
is command,
if I added myself in command, I could send emails to myself.
a neighborhood nurture.
Yeah.
Monthly
And you
neighborhood
should.
nurture you can do, absolutely. And you can set yourself up on a prospecting search on the MLS. Just enter yourself in, you can do a radius search, you can just search cities.
Sends you all the stuff.
Yeah, I do that with like buyers or like a C buyer, who do like ABC, like C is like they're contemplating it or like kicking it around. And they don't typically come to me directly a lot of times, but we talk once and, or I show them one house and then it goes to it after that. But I'll be like, oh, did you see that house right around the corner? That if anyone to be in that neighborhood, are you still looking? Are you still in the market to buy? And it just creates a conversation, but I probably wouldn't have seen it because I would drive by there, you know? So you can set like little, they call them hot sheets too, you can do that, but I just set myself phone searches, my emails for certain clients that don't want emails quite yet, but they're looking, they're going on Zillow, and they're getting that information. We don't want that.
Shows them like what area.
No, but I think why I'm asking is because there's a house up for sale in my Penny's neighborhood that's been on the market, and I think last I saw was Penny on sale now. So I'm trying to figure out how I could door knock once it sells and say, oh, you've won, congratulations, the house in the neighborhood just sold for $200,000 more than the last sale price of the house. And then maybe add in the note card, whatever, would be postcard.
Yeah. So
some
you're gonna
marketing
deliver
where-
it back in.
Yeah, like we're in a seller's market and you want to list your house.
Yeah. Good, I would love to be a value in the neighborhood, I don't know if you have a parent, you do that kind of thing. Did you grow up there?
Nearby, yeah.
Yeah, I'm your local market expert. I'm sure not every day, someone's not on your door asking me this, but I love providing value and service to people in my community. And if you have some time, either Saturday or Sunday, I could come back by and have a report for you. And if you have some questions, we could go over that 30 minutes or so. Would that work for you? Saturday, I'm going to camp, but maybe Sunday after church, how about 1 o'clock on Sunday? People know what they're doing in the next 2 weeks.
Right.
So, that's awesome. Good.
Excellent assumptive sale verbiage. Just used.
I haven't done it a long time yet. Gotta get an option.
Have you guys like been chosen in the area? I'm loving it now, so I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
oh, that's a really hard, a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, just think, where do you like to hang out? Just somewhere like a little more local.
I'll be moving closer to down here
Okay.
eventually, so I'm like, so I mean,
Yeah, two markets.
yeah,
Yeah,
understand.
for sure. Now, I would say, like, homework for this class, I'm sure there's homework at the end, because I want to follow this thing. But I would say definitely after today, you should know a market that you're interested in, where you like to hang out. You know, I grew up in the River City in Indiana, so I'm drawn to the River Cities in Northern Kentucky, even downtown. I love Snail Park. I used to bartend downtown. Like, I just know enough about areas to know enough. Know some areas. Set yourself up on a search of homes in those areas. Don't even put price points on it. Because even if someone's not looking at $1 million house, they're gonna wanna talk about it. And heck, maybe if they have an open house, you can go see it, and do a video in it. Like, look at this beautiful Victorian home, you know, whatever it is. Have fun with real estate. It is seriously the most fun industry. And I was in hospitality, and that's pretty fun. I know a lot of like executives and the person that built the building across the street, he was one of my regulars at Carlo and John, the tennis court and all that. He was the project manager on that. But real estate is quite fun. Okay. Ooh, okay, we gotta build your expertise. You probably why I said this because we definitely have been kind of already going over some of it. All right, so building your expertise. So once you know your market, familiar with all those important numbers, it's time to build your expertise. Part of educating your buyers and sellers is becoming a local expert. So it's knowing the number is just the first step, but how to interpret them and apply them, and maybe part of your lead generation and even your lead follow-up conversations is equally important. Is it Chance or Chase?
Chase.
Chase. I have a Chance.
Sure.
Chase. So let's say you do drop that flyer off. What would be a follow-up that you would do after you dropped it off or you dropped it?
Shoot, I guess I don't have ways to contact them.
You do, you
Like,
know.
I know their phone, I know where they live, that's it.
You
So,
can
I
send
mean,
them a thank you card.
John, I think that's a great idea.
Mary knows I'm all about the card. Home anniversary. Our neighbor, her dad is a real estate agent and we're in new construction community. But like, so he sold the house, he never sells houses. And I looked up, I feel like I lived there about a year. I looked up her home anniversary and I've been selling that home anniversary. I didn't sell her house. They'll probably never work with me. I mean, maybe they will if I'm awesome. But they'll be like, how do you remember when we bought our house? Because I'm a local expert. In my neighborhood, I can tell if somebody bought a house, new construction without a real estate agent. It'll say outside of sales on the buying side. All those people, I'm starting to put them in like a database together, and I'm gonna just contact them separately because I know they don't have a realtor relationship, most likely, because they built a freaking house without one. So that's like a new level of activity for me. It was not off for me. I was like, oh, there is such a market for this right now. I started realizing people that were reaching out to me through our Facebook group that they didn't buy with a realtor. There's a big need up there. Okay, building your expertise. All right, what are some ways that you guys are already building your expertise on a market level? Stay way off of it. Go ahead. How are you building your expertise?
Well, I'm still just trying to understand what is a buyer's market, what's a seller's market. I think you asked the best question for me so far today, like 7 months to 5 to 7 months. So like I don't want to get in a situation, and I'm sure this will happen, I'm sure it's happened with everybody, but get in a situation where I'm just talking a little bit out of my ass and somebody matches me that knows the market better. Maybe,
Sounds like we need a class about that math problem. That's what it is. It's a math problem to learn the absorption rate.
It always went in doubt, though. I don't really know the answer to that. I'm like, fine. I do that question knows. Yeah, they just say, I don't want to miss. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah, because nobody really knows anyway. It's for like, do you know? Could you find out? So.
yeah, it's like if you use the right words and then say what your client, customer wants to hear, then they're just gonna be like, oh, of course, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I know that I'm gonna stay very local in what I know, just can't know everything. So, I have my areas, and then that's just all I'm gonna be narrowing out as far as like my contacts and my newsletters and my social media. So that then we'll look at me and go, oh, she is the expert. You know, I want to be in Central Cincinnati. I can put in the garage. So yeah, you can go to the house. So you cannot be based on like I don't want. I just don't want to drive the basin.
Well, then you're gonna get buyers at open house,
You
but you're not ready to.
Wherever you do your open houses, you're definitely getting buyers.
You could always refer it out, but that organic relationship that you created, you probably want to stick with that.
But, so I just, that's my kind of plan.
Love that. All right, let's keep moving. We have an hour. I think we're doing all right. We got this. So these are the 4 steps for the Foundation series: learning the market, learning your clientele, listen to individuals, and keep the headlines and context. Oh my gosh, I got it. Shut up. Okay. Learn the market. Know your lore. This is also available through, I believe, Command. It all starts with the language of real estate. That's what lore stands for. Lore is going to give you a lot of market data. We do teach classes where they teach just about the lore report. Well, I'm also the education committee chair, co-chair with Becky. So like just teaching this class, you know, like, yeah, we need to have a class about this. So thanks for sharing things that you want to learn more about. And knowing your business, notice changes over time in your personal business. Remember to check in your number. So you're starting on a very, you know, rudimentary level with this tracker that they have you using. And it starts to feel really good when you have some numbers on there and something converts and they answer the phone the next time they text or call.
The conversion sheet, is that the tracker?
We can just make you a copy of it.
Is that what you're talking about? The thing at the end of the chapter that says conversion sheet? Is that the tracker? I think that is a command, because I think Lindsay talked about that, because it auto, she helped me. And then from. See how we can like. Work and. Like upload on my contacts, and she's like, your homework is to sort through your contacts. But she showed me how you can open it and app on your phone, and you dial contact through your phone. So that the command system tracks like all this person out of the state. And then that's how they find all the numbers. So if you just call a person out of your phone. That's the phone.
But it may not.
No.
If you do it from your phone, if it's through the app, I think it'll log it for you.
Through the app, the log for you. But she's, Lindsay's like, just open it up and you know, take notes, but all that through the app.
Through the app on your phone, I learned that.
That's what I did.
I'm an older millennial, I struggle with some of this stuff. Like,
Girl, please.
I'm
You do.
way older than people think I am, and I'm like, what was that? You can do what?
Well, you said it.
Yes, shoot. So, she's tethered, and she's like, we're hanging on to her at Earth, but
I saw it on paper.
I love you. Well, that's how you memorize those things anyway, but actual writing. When Anne McKissick was here, well, we had an ALC conversation afterward, to take it to a little higher level, and I said, what do you think the biggest opportunities that people like Keller Williams are missing out on? And she said, command, so much, like the AI integration, so she said, take the notes, because I think after like 5 notes, it's gonna help you, it's gonna guide you with AI on what you can do or what's working, which I'm also guilty of, like, I learned about it, but now I need to play with AI, I need to make it a partner. And like when your contact is open to,
Yeah.
and then, the other thing was something called a KPA, so that's an assessment, the color personality assessment. Oh, I take it before, it's free, they're on our office. So, all right, carry on, learn your clientele, who are the buyers, who are the sellers, does the market benefit your clients, as you were saying, Chase, you wanna know, if you don't wanna speak out of your rear end, you wanna know that if it's benefiting the seller or the buyer, that's great. Does the market put your clients at risk? Those kind of hand in hand with that too. You go around your neighborhood saying, I'm just using your example, yeah. You made 200,000 more, well, this person finished their basement, updated their bathroom, and you have Sally and Frank that have their green appliances from, the 80s or 70s or 70s. And you're telling them they can make 200 grand, like, it's not gonna work for them. Let's see. Listening to individuals, taking that grassroots approach, learn where your sphere gets information and be present. I think I jumped that. Did that language of real estate?
Learn the clientele, it's actually something that I was trying to pick up yesterday. So I met with a builder, went on to Batavia, the lot that they're, I think there's 80 houses in the district right now. I think most of them are filled, there's probably 10 that they're trying to fill, and they're gonna put up another few more. But it was funny because I came down, like through Eastgate and then took, 222 in Batavia. As soon as the Batavia, welcome to Batavia Township sign popped up, it went from like suburban to just rural farmland. And then so I was asking him, I'm like, well, like, what can I do for buyers and said, well, who's living here? Is it people that have downsized? Is it empty nesters? Is it single families?
What's the demographic? Yeah.
Yeah. So in my head, like Tate's kind of out there. I think some people want to be close to the city, at least who my main clientele will be from last year. You know, mid late 20s, buying the first homes. I don't think anybody wants to be in the middle of the
I think the Laura report would help. You can get like micro data on RPR. You can get data on education level. What's our realtors property resource? Realtors property resource. I think there's a link on that with MLS. I'm telling you,
I haven't clicked all those buttons yet.
oh, don't, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I don't honestly use RPR. I'm not a huge numbers person. I like enough for an elevator pitch. I would rather talk about Australian shepherds and fertility drugs or whatever, or like the little bar opening up, or, Publix, and, whatever.
There's like the sales thing, it's like, you don't know this, it's like, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yep, probably not.
It's all, nobody cares.
Yeah, you're gonna have your
It's not.
engineers, doctors, or lawyers that love, your accountants that love numbers, and that's why knowing your clientele. Well, I work with plenty of those people. Now, are they the creators of my crop? No. Actually, restaurant people, service industry aren't the creative of my crop either. It's just, I'm somewhere in the middle where it's people approximately my age. I work well with like 20 somethings too, because they look at me like I'm a client. I have kids right now that they just had a lot of cash and they built a house that they weren't quite ready for, et cetera. They spent so much money, and everything I'm doing for them, like everything. Like, thank you so much. You're amazing. I told them and they're married. I said, I'm gonna treat you guys like my little brother and sister. I was like, well, that's kind of weird, isn't it? We're married. But like they love the humor and the lightheartedness, but like they trust me and they know that I'm treating them like family, and I'm making sure that I would do for them what I would do for my own little brother or sister that had money cash, spent it well, got in over their head, Okay, good. Good, awesome. I'm gonna get you top teams. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
So we can less, $400,000 cards, all the free rent items. We also offer that out that they would be 1.5 or not, so that's 6.
And she said, you're the only person that sent me a birthday card. I think you shared that with me. You made, no, they never share with everybody. I just did a little class about what she said, teaching how people know that you care before they know about what you know about. I do. And that's a big part of it, knowing that you care, that you actually like took 5 minutes out of your day, put a stamp on something, you were thinking about it. It wasn't even real estate, you were thinking about it. I did. They were all looking for a tracker. She's the only one that they have the binder. They don't have the binder. So they wanted, I told them, forward to track in their notes. And they don't have the tracker. So even if we could just take her, and make some copies. And they should be doing it, but they never fly.
I mean, so there's the daily success system,
That's it.
and then there's the conversion.
Put it under my account if you want, or.
No, it's fine, I can remind, but we do have like tickets for sale too. $27.
Are you guys coming to every class? Are you coming to every class?
We do have these for sale too. But I can make copies of like a page. Do you have it here?
Yeah.
In office? Yeah.
It's still worth the 20.
It was like, I don't know, it was 27 or 37. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And they put on it though.
Yeah, it's great.
I did.
They build it out, so if you have time to sell houses like my daughter.
No, it's
couple I think would be helpful. Give them a little teaser by the book before we get on like session 10. I wish I would have it. Yeah.
Where is it?
So,
I'll be right back.
I love you. Okay, so, it's important to focus on potential changes that seem to be more than seasonality or normal flow. So generally speaking, transactions and prices tend to be higher in summer, like you were saying in Norwood, for instance, while the market inventory typically slows down in the winter. Market fluctuations outside of this scope can indicate changes are coming. So like if you just notice that nothing is moving in June or July, like there's a lot of actives and there's more actives than pending, might be a sign. So as you track the bigger market, track your own business as well. When you use Command to track your leads, appointments, and transactions, you're able to notice trends. This will help you analyze your market and notice any changes over time in your own business. I love the opportunities when you sit down with an appointment, whether it's a buyer or a seller, and you just say you made the appointment, or if you went under contract and it falls out, it's going to track some of your numbers for you automatically. Just learning how to say, terminate that opportunity that fell out. It's going to start saying how many times did you notice that's a sad number, but it's the number you need to know. Maybe you need to convert to the close. Maybe you need better negotiation skills, so you need to go to a class about that, or you need help understanding an inspection, or coaching the buyer on what kind of house is probably better for them. If they're not a renovation person, don't be looking at properties with green sinks and sort of, I don't know, wallpaper everywhere. Okay. So when you're tracking all these changes, it allows you guys to be better at understanding what might impact your clients and serve them better. I'm not going to do something. My neighbor listed 2 other agents at the past, the same guy I was telling the story about. And he said, well, I wouldn't listen to anybody else because that's very good. And he was like, we went over the numbers. We showed him the last 3 resales. I have been in 2 of them. And then we talked about the new construction. Like, what would it cost to rebuild this house or create a house? And then, like, what sold, actually sold. And he was like, wow. He's like, I learned a lot today. And he's like, I really wanted to list at 475, but you guys are saying 465, maybe 470. I always give you a window. If you want to start at 470, we can start at 470. But for him, like it was eye-opening. Okay, well look at this buyer, and all we did was print out 3 sales. Look at this. Seller. They went under contract twice. First time after 30 days. And then, went back on the market and then took another 30 days. So is that $5,000 difference to where you potentially are only going to get 1 buyer, or you're going to have to do a price improvement? Is that worth 30 to 70 days on market to you? And I sat there. He's like, no. I just gave him the data, and I said, or these 2 people got under contract in 10 days. And in 2 days. Yeah, her class yesterday, but she didn't. Great. Yes. Yeah. Right, better terms on your offer. It puts them all in your court. In the background.
I'll take a picture of that.
That's very useful to drop that slide in the listing presentation.
Yeah.
I actually need to do that. See, remind me of things I need to do. Yeah.
So when you first started, you were new. Well, and that worked.
Oh.
Yeah. So you had your database was built. But what did you do to get outside?
I did it at the time. I did it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got those.
The only thing I pay for is agent fee, never bill fees. Which I'm glad to do. I get a make coming in, I'm like, so to me, it all,
Yeah.
and it just expands my network, and then when they wanna sell or buy, whatever it is, yeah, there is no role fee next step. Great. Okay, so staying in my network, you didn't ask me this question, but the thing that I regret the most is not working my database very well. My first 6 months, I literally was just talking to people. I was entering people in my database, but they were just sitting there. Nothing was happening with my database. I didn't work it. That was my biggest regret. You don't have to go outside of your network. You think you do, but you don't. There is a great exercise about, who's your childhood babysitter? Who babysits your kids? Where do you go to church? Where do you go to the grocery store? Who's your mail person? I lived in Bellevue for 10 years. My mailman is here. So anytime you see a for sale sign go up, will you let me know? Anytime you see a big dumpster outside someone's house, will you let me know? He loved it. He loved talking about real estate with me. Yeah. He would spend 30 minutes at our cluster mailbox at our condo. So, I never felt the need to get outside of my network. It was gonna happen organically when you start getting referrals from your people that you work with. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Okay, so let's expand that question. How did you talk to your network? What
I
were your
basically-
communications?
Yeah, I basically was just in front of people, because I was still working at Carlo and Johnny, and I was also working at Holy Grail when I was in real estate school, so true dinosaur, I was taking night classes. But
That's a great idea, is to work a bar while you're selling real estate.
just have another little gig, it's fine, you're gonna meet people. I have a Florida real estate friend that she still works at the golf course at the little bar. She meets all these old men that are friends with her dad, and dad comes in, and she gets a ton of referrals business from there. But any way that you can stay in front of, a group of people, but how I would talk about it, people wanna talk about real estate, and always talk about real estate in a positive light. If they wanna doom and gloom, be like, we were just talking about this in class I had the other day, and, the media is actually, you'd be shocked to know this, 6 months behind on what's actually going on in the current market. And most of the time what you see nationally is just a whole overall national data, or they're finding some data that's shocking, Naples, Florida, and has nothing to do with what's going on here. And they're like, I guess that makes sense. They never show you where they get their information from, they're just talking about it. And so when you have a little bit of an elevator pitch and be like, you know what? Actually, I have a challenge that my coach gave me. I can be your coach. My coach gave me a challenge to get 5 contacts every day, and I'm so glad that you talked to me about real estate, and I didn't even intend to ask for your contact info, but you would help me reach my goal for 5 contacts in a day. Can I go with, what's your last name? That would be great. Okay, Angela, thank you. What's your best phone number? You have to have this is not for everybody. I had my business cards on me. If somebody talked to me about real estate when I worked at Carlo and Johnny, I was putting my business card, and I was like, I like to keep both separate, but if you want to talk to me after about real estate, I'd be happy to talk with you. I'm just trying to respect, my manager and all the other guests and make sure that I stay on top of things here. But here's my card. I'd love to talk to you. That's my cell phone. Shoot me a text and I'll have your info. I've had 3 sales, at least from guests, and 3 or 4 from my fellow bartenders and servers. So just while I was working. And then eventually I had 4 sales in January after the holidays, which was very, very busy. It was difficult to do both, and I just said, okay, I'm very passionate about real estate. I enjoy the clients, but I'm not passionate about states and clients. That was the side. So I just decided that it was time for me to jump ship. But anytime somebody would talk to me, and I just ask them, if they say no, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares if they say no? I can totally appreciate that. And if you see me again and you change your mind, just know I'm always here to help you talk about real estate. Help you with any real estate. You're like, okay, that's it. So, you just gotta ask.
You might have just answered this, but you said the biggest regret was not working in database. How, I guess, what is working in database look like? Is that just staying in touch with people at X amount of time?
It's like 36 touch plans, finding their birthdays, touches through social media, text,
How important is having a home address for people in your contacts that you're trying to start business
I
with?
would say fairly important. You know, some people rent, so you're not gonna know that, but, or just having a general idea of where they live, you can still set them up on a monthly neighborhood nurture. Even if they're renting, you can still set them up on Oakley, so they know what's going on in Oakley. You don't want
Because that's what I feel most awkward asking about since I've been calling my contacts.
Yeah.
Catch up now, bitch them real quick, hey, you'd be doing me a huge solid if I could have some additional contact info for you to fill out, you know, your information in my database, email, home address, birthday. And then kind of a couple people be like, oh, I'm not looking right now, I'd rather not share.
That's
But
okay. Do you know, like, you know where they live? You don't have to have their actual address.
just put it in the neighborhood, it's a great.
Put in their neighborhood in command. If they give your email, they'll just get it monthly. Just let them know you're not gonna get a ton of emails from me. You'll get one a month. And if that's too much, you can let me know and I can adjust that. But you only get one email monthly.
If they, in my experience, it's all, you always have to ask. If they say, I don't want to get an email. A no is okay, a no is a successful sales transaction. Maybe it's a fail. Maybe land is no, it's not good. Yes or no is, you know what you're doing and you get your energy. Just like, okay, great, I'm here, love you, bye.
Yeah.
And then, but a maybe land, so definitely get their email. Just put them in your comments, you know, like, you know, this, and they're pissed. Almost nothing you can do.
I've never had anybody say that they're mad or anything, though, to be honest. Once you showed some value and you care and you weren't salesy, you don't care. Listen, no, I'm not gonna boogie. Actually, take out your phones. My name is Sarah. Open your contacts. Save me. Because I love some of these questions, and you're welcome to call me and text me. I'll even give you my home address. SARAH. Brooks, like Brooks. I'll say that. Very good. And then my phone number, I'm true tri-state girl, is 812, it's Indiana, you heard it right. 290. 9048. I've been saying not yet for 3 years. And then my email is my name, sarah.brooks@kw.com. You can find me on social media, Sarah Brooks. If you want to find me. So I'm gonna bogey through this, so we can chat a little bit. Usually I'm fine. I could like stay for another half an hour, but I've showed some apartments to my in-laws because I have to list their $850,000 house. We gotta get them out of there. All right, heard. All right, so we're listening to our individuals. We're learning where your sphere gets their information. We talked about that. They're watching the news. They're going on Zillow. They're getting bad information, and you need to look at these things too. So that you're prepared to be like, I saw that too. So what do you think the mortgage rates are? Have a conversation about it. What did I say earlier? Never to talk blank about real estate. Never talk bad about real estate. You just want to talk about it. It's okay for them to say, oh my gosh, the sales prices are so high. And then be like, oh, cool. Where do you live again? Oh, okay. What's it? High sales price to you? I'm just kind of like wrapping my brain around this. Okay, you're in hopefully 300. You know what? I'm gonna look that up and I'm gonna get back to you. I want to see what that average sales price is there. What's your best email? Send your report. Okay. So you got to get past the headlines. You know, the headlines are. I read one. It's been circulating on the Facebook, Google about what was it? Foreclosures. It's actually for multifamilies. It's not even single family houses. places, they don't tell people that. Most people aren't looking at multifamily data, they're just looking at data, they're playing people. Knowing your numbers, if you know your market and where you like to hang out, that's the best start, you know? Any quick ahas? Maybe one? All right, carry on. Utilizing resources. This could probably be a whole class, you guys. Command, download the app. So while your phone is still out, go ahead and download KW. I don't even remember what that's called. And then command. You're going to be able to access instant information there for people. You can add people directly into command from the app, so you don't have to save them into your phone and then do it later. You're integrated end-to-end with Keller Cloud, and that is running and growing your business. I love this. I'm a charts person. I'm not a numbers person. But you can change this, and I play a little game with myself to always be better than like any other, like the market center. I'm like, oh, I gotta put more email addresses. Or like I'll time block and I'll say like, okay, for this hour, I'm gonna add people's Facebook profiles. And when I go to their profile, I make sure I like or comment on something, and then I go back into command and I find somebody else, and then I add their Facebook profile. You just copy and paste our hyperlink. So here's what I was saying in getting the KW app. I'm just gonna post it. Command is amazing, but like the search app is not sexy. All right, so this is my jam, the social media. You guys, this is lead gen. The reason I count this is lead gen. This is lead gen, and I'm so glad that they agree now. The real estate gods. Like 10 posts a day. What's better than a like is a love. You know what? I get offended when people don't love my posts. I know why. It took just as much effort to love it as to like it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Show some love. You just liked it. Thanks. All right. Write 5 comments a day. At least 5 words. This is the algorithm thing. Write 5 words. Not great pick. Say, oh, this is an awesome pick. Emoji. 5 times. 5 different people. And then send one direct message a day. Instead of just putting it on if it's their birthday, this is the easy one. Send them a message about their birthday. Instead of every 200 other people that click the button that says, make it a great day. Can we do that? Are we all social media people? Use social media?
What, youngsters, not social medias?
Yeah, you know?
I just started Facebook a month ago.
Yeah. This will really, it's a softer approach. I feel like it really gets people a little more comfortable with like talking about real estate. If you can make some good posts and connect with people, because when you start connecting people, they're gonna say, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to Brandon in forever. I've talked to Brandon in forever. What is he up to? Then they're gonna go to your newsfeed. If you don't have Jack on your newsfeed, they're gonna think you're not doing anything. So you have to just have a plan to at least post, even if it's once a week, it's something. So just start getting in social media to get you comfortable talking more. All right, other enrichments. Study your market center report. Previewing homes. This is so important. So if you have that search set up to where you know what homes are going on the market around you, maybe you have a 5-mile radius. You want to see every home within 5 miles. All right, take an MLS course. So some of these are free, some of them aren't. They're CE through the MLS. We have so many courses here. Like, just take lots of classes. Visit and hold open houses. I know open houses is a class that is part of the foundation series. Definitely be there. Celeste is teaching that, and she does some fabulous open houses. You just visiting open houses, you don't have to be licensed yet because you're not quite there. Not quite there. You can go to open houses, girl. Okay. Read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. This is an awesome book. If you're not a reader, also, yes.
I'll just plug really quick at the 8 a.m. calls that we're doing.
Yeah.
Friday is our first book club day, and we're starting the MREA. So if you guys want to join, I know William's been going.
Nice.
I just started going last Thursday. It's 8 a.m. You zoom in on your phone. You don't have to camera, no cameras.
Yeah.
And we just talk about like goals for the day.
This is Kristen, right?
What's today?
Wednesday.
Today is about
Yeah, well, building Wednesday. Tomorrow, President book club day.
And that's Kristen, right?
Yeah.
8 o'clock every day. She's such a great person to just like get your vibe higher. If you need. There's also the MREA podcast, which I was listening to on the way here. I started a class and no one showed up, so I'm not doing it again. You guys aren't showing up. But I love the MREA podcast. They have some really exciting people that come on, like big names all the way down to just like big producers and colorists. You don't have to know their names.
Bill Robbins was on.
Yes,
That was great.
yes, with Gary Keller. So good. All right. We got just like 2 or 3 minutes. So what else? What's another enrichment that you can think of that would help enrich your expertise in real estate that don't see listed here?
Something that I want to add, this might be a little borderline encouragement, but I want to start having somebody or a couple people that can practice roll call, or not roll call, stretch with me.
Yeah, role playing.
Role playing, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's always something that a lot of agents have a hard time wanting to do. So I love that you want to do that. There's a lot of agents like struggle with wanting to just like practice. And one of my favorite things is practice on your peers, not on your future clients.
Yeah.
Don't practice on your clients.
I'm a voicemail guy, so there's been a couple of voicemails that I love to speak, but I'll hang up. Good looking.
Nobody likes the sound of their voice. I was talking to my grandma about this. Like everybody likes the sound of their voice. All right, so feel free to give feedback. I did give cards. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so this class, and I'll have another class that I'm teaching toward the end. I'll get to the close.
What's your, I can't find you on Instagram.
Sarah Smile.
Thanks for teaching us that.
Smile.
Thanks for being here. Thank you. Last year when I taught, there was one person at my class, But seriously, if you guys think of a question, you can just text or call me. I live in Kentucky, so if you ever want to come to the Bluegrass State, grab a drink or something, feel free. Chat about real
Last
estate.
work at Holy Grail.
I was taking my night classes for real estate, so, and if I missed one, I had to like wait a whole nother month. So it was terrible. I had like take off work to finish my classes. This is what.
Know your market.
Connect with your market.
When did you work, what did you do for Temple?
Bartender.
Like I know you.
Probably because I worked at how did you ever go to Tropicana? I don't know for.
Oh my God.
I worked there too.
Oh my God.
I'm 42.
Oh my God.
I know.
I mean.
You're like probably bachelorette party maybe back in the day. Actually, they're probably gonna tell me to tell you your homework. Oh, KW Cares, I love this. We give $10 out of every closing to KW Cares. Next gen. So these are great classes. I like want my nephew to come to one. It's young professionals under 30, looking to grow personally, professionally, financially. This is offered several times a year. We're out of Omaha, I feel like. And this is, I hit it pretty well. Did I change my name? What do you mean? Where are you at? Sarah Brooks. All right, so success system. Let's get some numbers on the board for tomorrow. Bring them into class. Who's teaching tomorrow? It'll be someone amazing. I think it's Marcheski. He's the finance. He's the finance chair. He's a numbers guy. Anybody know numbers people? Mary? Kurt's a numbers guy. It'll be really fun. It'll be really fun for you. Cool. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're welcome. This is a great affirmation. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. Ooh, take a picture of that. Put it on your screensaver. I'm leaving it there. Take a picture of it. I love you guys.
Thank you.
You too. Sorry I don't come to the office very often to know y'all a lot better, but you have a number. So, oh, back to the food during the meeting tonight. So good. Well, our dogs get up at like, we gotta go on a walk, gotta be off season, there's a process. They gotta get worn out and kind of go back to sleep at like 10:30, then I like grind it out for an hour of work and then we eat breakfast. Yeah. Crazy. All right, guys. Thank you. You're welcome. See ya. Bye. Seriously, will you guys text me so that I have your number too? Yeah. And then tell me who you are. Yes. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Joining the career last year.
Okay.
I've heard Pinnacle Group, there's obviously Tier 3, there's this, whatever. So like that's sort of.
So those are the teams.
Well, so there's also I get Pinnacle and then like Seminoles or franchises. Yeah. And the advisors is the other one.
I thought Pinnacle was a team.
I
Oh, they-
yeah.
Okay.
But so then within brokerages, there's teams like Brian Jackson is a team leader.
Talking about me, I'm back.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
And then Missy Free.
Okay, so you want to face me and like smile and smile?
Yeah. Is this good? I'm gonna look the biggest, but in front. That was my encore. And Jenna has the book for you guys. It's not yet. Okay. So put it on your office building.
So and then there's the spring group.
That's who I'm with.
You are. Yeah. It's coming under. Measure.
Yeah, Stacy. Yeah, there's.
So you know Stacy and.
Or Jamar.
Yeah. I have friends. Let's support splits for that.
But working under Peter, or just
He just moved out to Utah.
oh, for
Yeah,
good.
his last six graduated. He just like he kind of gave off to James.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody was here for the last time he was here today, but chewed out the office. It was like my second time here. I don't think I was
He's a little bit intimidated. I will talk.
hit
from
that
9 to
hard.
4 every day.
Yeah.
Like that is not.
I would rather do that though. I don't think I could just work from home. Like I want to be there. I want to like. I don't know. I would better.
You're gonna join it to just understand what you're doing, and what you're getting, and make sure you get everything that you're getting out about. Your gas and all this stuff comes out of your. So it really is. 40, 60.
Yeah. Like actually prepare yourself.
Yeah. And you probably not really all as much as this, but what you're doing. So they treat you as a stuff like who gets these very understanding about any so like I yeah he works tomorrow hard yeah
He went through all this like stuff with me. Right.
that's what you want to get.
I was gonna say, I think just starting out, if they are supportive.
There you go, it is, like, being in that environment too, with, like,
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking, you know, I was just like,
They have the requirements of. But the these are always. Where you doing it?
Yeah.
So.
I think I had to have a signed contract. Like signed. Yeah. And I say, whatever. I think that.
wow. I think we did,
Yeah.
you know,
They want.
that.
Yeah, I know. They will. Figure out stuff. Yeah, I'm just testing. That test is awful. It's
Yeah.
literally the worst thing ever. I've tested for a lot of other things, just things like that old stuff. I don't think I've ever tested like that before in my life.
That's national, my second job.
Where? I
I
can't turn you off.
So I did this job, and it gives you like a framework at the very end. So it's like whatever section, so 11 sections to the national. The third section is test, like one time.
Well, I can't turn it off, so it's still recording.
I also did the CE shop, but I have, you taking the test yet?
Yeah, I took it last Thursday, off it.
Yeah.
Completely off it. I was sitting there and my hands were shaking. I was like, this is so.
So I have also like a hand
it's the data stuff.
Yeah.
One that's all online. Is that what you're doing?
That's what I did.
Oh my god, it's so boring.
It's extremely boring. I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep with my computer in my lap probably 6 times when I was working classes. It's,
I can only do like 2 hours a day. and that's-
yeah, but. I mean, it's really tough. I mean, it's a lot, I mean, that's what I'm saying, it's a lot, but. I think it's a lot. I'm trying. So I sent everything back to them on Monday, so I really were, you have to be like, oh. Right.
My grand said YouTube did too, so I like stuff on there. And then practice tests online, like realestatewizard.com.
Real estate.
Real estate wizard. It's a good one to have. I think 100-question national practice one and a 40-question state. Too.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's, like this. See, go back. Hour class that I took, then it transferred to like their classes. It's super weird. All right. Well, thanks, I appreciate it,
Yeah.
all the advice. Are you guys gonna be here for the rest of the classes?
I heard the contract's canceled.
Yeah. Katie's great.
2 o'clock. Yeah. All you got is put in my contract. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Is it online or is it?
it's like